Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm the teacher.
Hi, I'm Kat, and I'm the athlete.
Hockey skill, offensive movement. Picture of hockey stick, bell tennis ball, beeping frisbee, blind hockey puck, polyspot, sound source, tactile maps, tactile hockey diagrams, artist's figurine.
Today we are going to be going over our hockey skill of offensive movement. Before we dive into our hockey gameplay of offensive movement, please go through NWABA's video library to work on our pre-teaching skills. To make hockey and offensive movement accessible, we're going to go through some of our adaptive equipment with our athlete Kat here today. First, we're going to start with our tactile maps to go over our gym and court layout to familiarize ourselves and our athletes of our court layout and gameplay positioning.
Use a tactile map to orient the athlete to the court and gameplay.
So Kat, on our map here is a hockey court. It's made tactile using puffy paint. So you'll be able to take your fingers and trace all the way around, and those are the boundaries. The middle three lines that you are feeling in there is the midline, as well as our blue lines that would be on a traditional hockey rink. And then the second line kind of towards the baselines, that's the goal line, and there's a little half circle above it of where our goals would be. They're on opposite baselines, just off the baseline a couple feet.
Use a tactile diagram to demonstrate the movement.
So Kat, this individual is outlined kind of in that hockey position. So his feet are about shoulder width apart, knees are bent, his chest is up, and his hands are about waist level with his stick, with the stick pointing towards the ground. Do you have any questions on our tactile diagram?
No.
Great.
Use an artist's figurine with the athlete to demonstrate the movement.
Now we are going to use our artist figurine to position it into the hockey ready position. I'm going to let Kat work through that by herself, and she can ask any questions she needs to as the student towards the teacher. There you are.
Thank you.
Kat is moving the artist's figurine into the hockey ready position.
So our artist figurine is in our athletic position with our hands positioned, being able to hold that hockey stick once we get there.
Use a variety of equipment to make the skill accessible for the athlete.
In my hands, I have two sound sources that will be used for offensive movement through gameplay of hockey. In my right hand, we have a sound source that can be used to place behind each net to orient our athletes to where the net is on each side. As well as in my left hand, I've got a bell wristlet that would allow players to differentiate between other teams. So a bell wristlet would make a sound kind of like ringing jingle bells, and the opposing team could wear a wristlet that would rattle to be able to differentiate between each team.
Use a tactile map to familiarize the athlete with gameplay.
In my hands, I have another tactile map that we can use for our athletes to work on our drills that we're going to use for offensive movement. So on our tactile map, we have our two goals at each end, as well as dots that represent our players. So Kat, we'll be able to explore this together. So you'll be able to feel our half circles that are there, and those are our two goals at each end, and the circles are going to represent our players. So you'll feel there's a circle a ways away from our other two players, and that is how we would be able to create offensive space. So when you feel those two players right next to each other, that would be a good example of an offensive and a defensive player, but we want to take one of those away so we can create space between our offensive players to create space. So if you feel now, we'll be able to see how there's some space between each two teammates. Mm-hmm. Any questions?
No.
Great. So Kat, we're going to start pretty close together. One great way to orient to our other teammates is by our sound sources and our bell wristlets, or by our athletes being able to tap the stick on the ground, and that gives us an audible source of where each other are. So if we hear that we are too close to each other, we want to make sure that we're creating some space to get between each other to allow a pass or a shot to happen. So how we're going to practice today is I'm going to move around the gym, and I want you to be able to orient to where I am and be able to move away from myself to allow a pass to be successful. So I'm going to start in our original position, and I'm going to allow you to move away once you hear that orientation from that sound source, okay? Great. So you can hear my stick tapping, and you're able to move away to allow for a pass to be successful. I'm going to move again, and we're going to try this drill again, okay? And go.
Kat is orienting herself to the tapping noise on the court.
Great. Awesome. Very good being able to orient to my sound and be able to move away. One thing we want to go over when we're going through our offensive movement is making sure that we are ready to receive a pass. So do you remember that ready position that we have gone over previously?
Kat moves into ready position.
Make sure that we're staying in that position as we are moving through our offensive movement during gameplay. That way, if a pass does come your way, you're ready to receive it.
Got it.
Any questions?
Nope.
Great.
Be patient. It may take several attempts for the athlete to progress in the skill.
That was the hockey skill of offensive movement. Feel free to check out NWABA's video resource library for other hockey skills, as well as being able to link our hockey skills together. With the right equipment and good communication, hockey can be accessible for everybody.
For more, visit the Sports Adaptations page at www.nwaba.org. Thank you for watching. Slide of NWABA logo.